Hello and welcome to another tutorial on Kotlin. So we're actually going to be going over arrays, just very basic arrays, nothing too crazy. You can get fairly complicated with arrays fairly quickly, but for learning purposes, we're just going to go into very basic arrays. So let's go ahead and create one. So we can create another variable, and we're going to call it my array. And we'll have it equal an array of, and we'll have it be numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So now, in order to let's try printing out the array, my array. All right. So we print it out, and it gives me this hash. So you're probably wondering why we aren't seeing the array of numbers. So since an array is essentially a collection of, well, in this case, it's a collection of numbers. It can also be a collection of strings, Boolean values, but in this case, it's a collection of numbers. So you're probably wondering, why aren't we seeing our numbers? In fact, let's make them just a little bit more distinct here. Just have them be kind of fun, just so we know. Okay, so you're probably wondering again why we can't see all of them. So we're going to go into the for loop. So let's see, we're in order to make a for loop, and what a for loop does actually is it goes through and iterates each item of an array. So it takes a look at each item, and then it'll stop after it's finished iterating through the array. So let's go ahead and iterate through it. And so the syntax for it is for each, essentially for the item in, an item is a placeholder variable for each, it represents each specific index in the array. So for each item in my array, we are going to print the value of each item. So now when we run that, we see the value of each item in our array. All right, so you can do many cool things with for loops. For instance, you can start it, let's see. So if we wanted to, we can say for each item in 1, 2, 5, we can say print each item. So this will only iterate 5 times. So it prints 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, but in this case, we want to go to my array. We can iterate through the entire array. If we wanted to do something similar like that, we wanted to iterate from 1 to essentially the range. So the range would be 1 to my array, and then we can use the function count, or we can essentially tack on count to get the count of each, essentially to get the number of items that are in the array. So let's go ahead and run this. All right, so now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 different items in the array, and we're starting at 1. And again, we're not actually going into the contents of the array. We're just getting the count of each item in the array. So that's why this is also a very powerful tool. However, let's say we just wanted to solely iterate through the array. Now again, we've seen this. However, there's an easier way to do this. What we can do is just say my array, and then for each. Now we can essentially do what we want to. Might be wondering, okay, well, how do I get each value of, or how do I get the value of each item in the array? So we use the keyword it here since it's implied. So it is the, it is, in this case, it's an integer representing each item in this array. So just how we had item as the placeholder variable, we have it to be the placeholder variable. So we can say print line it. Okay. So now let's run it. And we're building. And there it is. So there you have it. It's a lot cleaner and a lot easier to read using this for each, especially if you're just iterating through a set of numbers. All right, and that should do it for basic for loops and arrays. Again, we can go into a lot deeper with arrays. There are also multi-dimensional arrays, but I wanted to at least introduce you to the concept of an array and how to iterate through an array to get the values. So if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. But the next video, we're going to be going a little bit more, we're going to get a little bit more advanced. So hope to see you in the next one.